Hello, my friends, and welcome to an experiment that I am doing. Basically, I'm trying to create the ultimate tier list of life. This is going to be a long road that we go down, but hopefully, it's going to be a fun one. Um, yeah, so at the moment, I'm just feeling like I'll pick a topic or pick a single thing to talk about, and, depending on how much I have to say about it, we could do one, two, three, 10 things in a time, and eventually we're gonna have every single thing in the universe listed on this list, all in perfect order. So we will be able to find out what is the best thing and the worst thing of all time. This can range from media to concepts to I don't know, feelings. To what you had for breakfast yesterday. Who knows? Anyways, let's just jump right into it. I'm starting my tier list off here. I figure we'll keep it pretty simple because there's gonna be a lot of stuff eventually on this. I feel like we can generally put things in the S, A, B, C, and D tier category. So I have a list of things right here that I have just chosen to kind of act as a basis for each tier, right? Tier D, we're going to start off with mayo, because that is one of the most disgusting things I've ever tasted. One of my least favorite things that I've ever experienced. So it's definitely in D. So that'll give you a little bit of barometer for how much I hate mayo, as well as what might constitute a D. Um, just really, really bad, unpleasant experiences, really, really terrible things, in my opinion, and this is eventually going to be published in the history book, so this is going to go down in history as the right opinion. Um, and as an S tier pick, I'm going to go with laughter. I love laughing, laughter always brightens up my day, whether it's somebody else laughing or me laughing. Um, the only downside to laughter is that, sometimes people laugh at you, which isn't very fun. But luckily, maybe it's a biased thing, but I don't get laughed at too often, so I feel fine about putting laughter in S tier personally. Apologies if you do get laughed at all the time. That is not cool. You're worth something. You're special. I love you. Okay, and I just I had this picture on my computer and I accidentally clicked on it and I figured why not keep it on the list. So here we are with Kirby Air Ride. Now, it's definitely in between mayo and laughter. I wouldn't say it's as intoxicating of a high as laughter. I wouldn't say that I love it as much as I do laughter. But I do love this game. Uh, so, A or B? That's the question here. Because I'm going to have a lot of things to rank. Do I think that a good video game, and not even a great video game, just like a really good one, is A tier or B tier? I'm going to say that's B tier. Uh, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of life, I'd say Kirby Air Ride is B tier. Um, I'm comfortable with that. I think that's a pretty good rating when you're talking about things in existence overall. And I'd say it's a higher B too. I can't see it fall or dropping down the list too high or too much as we go on. And here we have Owl City Ocean Eyes. So this is kind of the main topic that I wanted to talk about today. Um, so I've been listening to Owl City. I actually did a little bit of research for this video, believe it or not. I listened to Owl City's Ocean Eyes twice today. I mean, I've been preparing, This is a album that I listened to. This is the first album that I ever listened to. And I listened to it as a child. And, I always really enjoyed it. I loved Fireflies, and so my parents bought me this as a kid, and it's a good album, man. I don't know how that stacks up with other people's beliefs on it. I've never looked into it. I don't know if people think this is a bad album or if this is a great album that's underrated, but I think it's a pretty good, pretty great album. I'd say. So yeah, here we are with Owl City Ocean Eyes. So we'll just drop it in B for a moment while I talk about what makes this album great. Obviously, the main thing to take into account when talking about an album and how good it is the songs, and I'd say it has a pretty strong list of songs on it. We got Fireflies, the classic, Vanilla Twilight, which it was also played on the Disney Channel, I remember back in the day. That was really cool. Tip of the Iceberg. Tip of the Iceberg is a great underrated song that I'm sure most of you haven't heard. Give that song a listen. Meteor Shower, which if... I don't know if I remember this story completely correctly, but when I was a kid, my grandma had come over. I was listening to this album, and that song was on while she was leaving, and my dad was crying, and I had the song like blasting, and my dad was like tears strolling down his face, and they had always had a bit of a strained relationship, so I don't know if this had anything to do with that, but when you listen to the song, I think you'll realize it definitely didn't help the situation because it's kind of a depressing song, but it's really good. And this album has some great lyrics on it. Like, you know, they're pretty serviceable for the most part. I wouldn't say they're mind-blowing lyrics, but they've got some really, really fun, like, puns on there. They got in this song, what is it, dental? Okay, so the song's Dental Care. So yeah, in that song, he says, golf and alcohol don't mix, and that's why I don't drink and drive, and I really like that. I believe there's another really good pun in The Bird and the Worm. Yeah, so there's ones where he says, with all of my friends in the oceans and the seas, who needs enemies, in the first chorus, sorry. And then in the second one, he says, with fronds like these, well, who needs anemones? And I love that. I love that so much. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, and then there's another one where he says, we'll take a long walk through the cornfield and I'll kiss you between the ears. Like the ears of corn. It's so silly. I love it. Saltwater Room. Saltwater Room is actually a fantastic song, and I will die on that hill. Saltwater Room is a top tier song for sure. Oh, and On the Wing and Umbrella Beach too. Such great songs. There's so many good songs on this album. I mean, I've basically talked about every song on the album so far. So I'll just bring up Hello Seattle, which is an okay song. It's one of the ones that kind of bring it down a little bit more. I really like the puns and stuff in Dental Care, but I don't love the song overall. Hello Seattle's fun, but it's not great. Bird and the Worm, I actually do kind of enjoy that song. Cave In, I do enjoy it, but I'm not, that's the first track on the album. I'm not huge into it. Like, I wouldn't turn it on all the time. And the final track, Tidal Wave, is it's a pretty good ending to the album. It's always one that I forget about, but it's pretty good. I enjoy it. So overall, it's a good album. I would say that I'd give it like, well, let's just say like a 3 out of 5. But what does that equate to on a tier list? Is that B tier? Or could that possibly be C tier? See, that's kind of a tricky thing, because I don't think it's as bad as C tier would suggest. Maybe I do need a few more tiers. Maybe I need like 2 more. Yeah, let's edit that in. Okay, adding an E and an F tier. Alright, I feel like that should be good. That should be good, at least for now. That should cover all our bases. So, let's redo this a little bit. So, Mayo, F tier. Worst thing in the world. Laughter, S tier. Greatest thing in the world. Kirby Air Ride stays in the middle again. C tier. There we go. That gives us a little bit of a gauge. Okay. So now, Owl City Ocean Eyes. Like I said, I enjoy it, It's kind of a little similar to Kirby, if I'm being honest. Um, in the way of I enjoyed it a lot as a kid, and I have a lot of fond memories of it, and I still go back to it, and I still enjoy it. You know, it's still just good. Uh, but I don't know if it's as good as Kirby. I'm gonna say it's topping D tier. That's what I'm gonna say. All right, well that seems to be it then for the tier list so far. Um, yeah, I'll probably be making more of these. I mean, roughly 3 times a week, I'd say. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm gonna aim for. If we're gonna get everything on this list, then we're gonna need to spend a lot of time doing this. We're gonna have to be pretty consistent with this. So I'm going to try my best to hit 3 times a week. Uh, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll see. Yeah, if you want to come on this journey with me, then make sure you're subscribed, and yeah, have a fantastic, have an S tier day, baby.